Hello, everybody. This is Alexandra Bartfeld, and I'm at the Toulouse Orgues Festival. Today, I had a chance to talk to one of the most requested musicians of the organ talk, to Thomas Ospital, and we met at the beautiful Saint-Eustache Church, which is also a seat of Toulouse Orgues. And it was really amazing. It was really exceptional experience to talk to him, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it too. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining me today. It's a pleasure. The Organ Talk people have been waiting for you, and we're very excited to talk to you. And our friends and viewers have sent some questions. And as long as we have some time to answer them, I would like to ask you to pull some of these questions and to answer them, please.
Okay, super. Then let's start. Okay. Then the first question: how many concerts do you play in a year? Is it hard to have such an active concert life? Well, it's a very interesting question. Well, I would say it depends of every year, but if I count with all the concerts I play in Saint-Eustache, which is part of my job as organist there, I play around 70 recitals a year. But I love it very much. I think I really always wanted to be a concert organist, and I really love playing a concert. I think I love actually the concept of the concert. When I was very young, before I start music, when I was 7 years old, I was acting. I loved theater and very young I started to acting, and I was always extremely excited to go on the stage. It was for me such an important thing. I cannot explain how much I didn't have any stress. I was just so excited. I was, and I still, a little hyperactive person, and when I was running to the stage, I really loved that. And actually, I would say I really love my my life. I have to travel all the time and playing a lot of concerts. Of course, it's not easy. It's not an easy life because actually, it's not very easy on a personal side, I would say, because when you travel always, all the time, you don't spend enough time for yourself, actually. And it can be quite hard, I have to say the truth, it can be quite hard, for example, to keep friendship with people because you are not enough in the same place, then you cannot create such a routine to see some friends and have drink and go to dinner, and it's quite hard. You have to call them, but it's very hard on that side. And of course, it's not very easy also on the personal feeling because when you go traveling somewhere, you met people, but you know inside yourself that you will see these people and you will probably not see them again um, in 10 years or 20 years, and this keep a strange feeling actually because you don't really create a real relation with people you meet. Sometime I would say because of course when I come to Toulouse, for example, now I know a lot of people here and I'm very happy to be, but sometime when you go traveling somewhere you don't see these people, and that can be sometimes quite hard. But on the other half, I would say it's a beautiful life because I do what I wanted to do since I'm a child, and this is, I think, the most important thing.
Thank you so much. Can we try one more question, or maybe even two?
Yeah.
Yes, so go
course.
ahead and choose them.
Oh, that one. Then, what do you like the most about the organ in Saint-Eustache? Ah, very interesting question. Well, what I think I like the most is the feeling inside the church. I really, you can think whatever you want about this instrument. It's not a perfect organ, as no organ is a perfect organ, of course, but this one has a lot of things you can be surprised to find it on the organ. But, and this is absolutely sure, it is an instrument who really have been built for the building. I mean, it's an adequation between the building and the instrument, which is absolutely gorgeous. When you play even a solo stop or the tutti, it really all the time full completely the church, and everywhere you will be seated in the church, you will listen and understand the instrument. And this is actually what I think I love the most on the organ in Saint-Eustache.
Oh, that's great. Let's go for one more, because we have
we
1.5 minutes.
We have plenty of time. Okay. What goes through your mind in 1 minute before the performance? Just to be excited to start. I would say nothing more. I think I have time for another one.
Yeah, go on.
Which instrument influenced you the most? When I was student, I would say the organ of Notre-Dame de Paris was very influencing me on maybe for the improvisation, for the feeling of this huge space. When I was a student, I was going very often to listen my teachers play the service in Notre-Dame and just go there in the tribune, have this very special smell, which is in Notre-Dame, very special smell, and this liturgy, the sound of the choir flying into the cathedral, and this organ which you was completely moving with the instrument. And I think all this was very, very, very important when I was student. And now I would say, since I have the chance to be organist in Saint-Eustache, I would say that this is an instrument which I play every week, very, very, very often. And of course, it really changed my mind of how to play the organ, how to improvise and everything, because every instrument talks to you and tell you how to feel music, of course you are influenced by the instrument you must play. And I would say that now Saint-Eustache is probably the instrument which is influencing me the most.
And may I ask you about the program you're playing tonight in Notre-Dame de Paris?
Yeah, then tonight is actually a very, very special project. It was a crazy idea from Yves Steiner, I have to say, but a very nice, crazy idea, I would say. I am Basque. I'm born in Basque country and on the French side, but I really grew up on this culture. I'm coming a very little town where I would say the traditional culture is very strong. And I would say the first music I heard in my life was the traditional Basque music, because when we was going to a party of the village, it was always and only traditional music. And the music is very important in the Basque tradition. People at the end of a meal, they sing together several songs around the table just to spend time. The music is very important on a Basque life. And I was very surprised, but very, very, very excited by this project. It was to work with traditional musicians from Basque country. And there is a lot of percussion. There is a chalaparta, which is a wood percussion instrument. There is also several instruments. You will see there will be a recording of that. There's many, 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 many traditional instruments. You have the alboca, which is quite interesting instrument, which is playing like the bagpipe a little bit, but it has a very beautiful and rich sound. And it will be like a mix between the traditional music as it was and mixing in the time of today with improvisation, with a modern playing with this sort of element, very old element. Then it's really, I would say, a meeting between people coming from the traditional music and the classical music and mixing a program, but we are all Basque, and then we really get a very good feeling together, and I think it's a very interesting project.
It was already great from you to present on your Instagram page everybody with improvisations on different days of the week in Basque language. It was amazing. But do you imply a lot your traditional music into your improvisations?
I sometimes use the traditional Basque music or influence in my own improvisation, I will be on a rhythmical size. For example, I use very often some dance. We have some special rhythm of dance. We have, for example, the sortsico, which is 5/8 bar, which is then not a natural bar. I use it quite a lot, actually. I use also the fandango rhythm and improvisation. And of course, I think on the melody also, sometimes I use this very special way to make a melody. We have a very special type of melodies in Basque Country, which are very they really sing a lot. They are very beautiful lines, and they are extremely modern also. They use a lot of different style of mod. They are not most of them tonal. They use some very special mods because they come from the traditional instrument. If you are interested to see some traditional Basque instrument, you will be very surprised to see the scales they use. They are absolutely not tonal. There are some very strange mods, not even the mods that we could be thinking about, the church mods, I would say. No, there are some very special notes used. And this, of course, it's the music I grew up with, and sometimes, of course, I use this sort of color on my improvisations.
Thank you so much for joining us today, for answering these questions. If you want, you can take a look at the questions which are still there.
Yeah, sure.
If you like one of them, you can go on for that.
Let's go. I will just answer to everyone's. It will be funny. Your experience teaching at CNSMDP, what role harmonization au clavier played for you as you were a student? Oh, this is very interesting. Well, first, I loved my job as a teacher. And I would say, since I am a little children, I also always wanted to be a teacher. I remember, I don't say that very often, but when I was very children, I was always playing to the school. I mean, at home. I was always taking papers and correcting some copies and everything. I don't know. I was very fun about the school, I would say. I really wanted to be a teacher. And that before I started music, because I started music quite late, when I was 10 or 11 years old. Then before that, I was really playing very often to the school, I would say, at home. And I always really liked the way to be with students and to share something with them. And it's something really I was very happy with. After I started music and I really turned about music, study music, and I wasn't very thinking about teaching, not as I was before. And someday I received a request to become harmonization au clavier, practice harmony, I think we said that in English like that, practice harmony teacher in Paris Conservatory. And I said, well, yeah, why not? And when I first started the first day, I was completely in love with my job. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous to have this real relation you can build with the students. I was speaking sometime about fake relation you can create when you are playing somewhere, and at school it's absolutely not the case. In school you are really creating a real true relation with your students because they are waiting a lot about yourself, and they give you also so much because of course you teach them maybe sometimes little things, sometimes because most of them are very great, but they give you so much ideas. And for me, since I'm teaching, I'm completely amazed all the time to see how great ideas they have. Well, we do some improvisation also during the class. I wanted to enlarge a little bit the program of my class, doing some improvisation. I think it's very important. And I am sometimes absolutely amazed by the imagination they have. And sometimes there's people, they have never improvised a single note because most of them are pianists, and they always learn that pianist has to play the repertoire, and they even don't try to improvise. But you have no ideas of how much they are talented and excellent. Some of them are very excellent. They should improvise much more, actually. and it's very something I really like it. And it's a class I did also when I was student in the conservatoire, and it's a class I really adore it because it was a class between a lot of different classes. It's of course an instrument class because you play directly on the piano or on the organ, but also it's like a theoretical class because you speak about harmony, you speak about form, you speak about theory, about analysis. Then it's something between everything, and I think it's a reason I really loved this class when I was student, and now since I'm a teacher of that class. What is your favorite course? Well,
do you want me to turn on the organ?
Well, I think actually I'm not sure I can answer to that question because it depends on the time of the day. When you start in the morning, you don't have the same feeling that when you go to bed in the evening. I would say if more you go in the day, more the chord will be complicated on my mind. Then it's very hard to answer to that question. I'm not sure I have a special chord I really like. It depends the style of music, it depends of everything. But I'm sorry, I think I don't have a very precise answer for this question. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. It was amazing. Thank you for bringing this energy and sharing so amazing things with us. And I wish you a great concert tonight.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.